Hello and good day from whichever part of the world you are from. My name is Devin Patrick Atkins, and the main reason and goal for my channel is if you like me, you're a network engineer, a network administrator, or if you're just getting starting out in IT and you'd like to learn how to code from scratch, like myself, um, you need to practically, in order for you to excel in your career, you have to migrate to become this hybrid engineer that the world is looking for today. It's been all well and dandy in the past that we could go up until now. In terms of my field of expertise, network engineering, but really, the job market today, no matter where you are around the world, is demanding skills specifically in Linux, DevOps, Docker containers, AWS. It doesn't matter really, specifically to like cloud studies, you have to know some sort of degree of coding and automation. So the reason I created the whole channel is so that you can follow my journey. Number one, on how I developed myself from being your traditional network engineer into becoming a DevOps slash network programmability engineer. Just a bit of background about myself. I graduated in the year 2007, 2008. Like many of the others that joined in the IT sphere or in the IT world, I started with my A plus, CompTIA A plus, and my CompTIA Network Plus examinations. From there, after I worked at a local internet cafe in a small town from South Africa. So the small town I was in, really, opportunities were very, 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 very scarce. So I had to take with whatever job I could in order to start getting production experience. So my first job was in the summer of 2008, working as a PC technician at an internet cafe in a small town called Mtata. All right, so now, fast forwarding 12 years later, I am now a fully fledged network engineer. I love and enjoy what I do. I love studying. I love anything to do with technology. I'm a space enthusiast. I follow up with the latest SpaceX trends, NASA. I'm looking forward to the James Webb Telescope that's coming out, and I just really want to progress and progress with you all in terms of learning and just upgrading our skill sets and bettering ourselves. Unfortunately, as much as we'd love it to be, not a lot of people tend to share information, especially in the production world, where, well, specifically in my experience, whereby you won't get anybody really showing you the ropes. Most people like to retain their knowledge because that's their bread and butter. Should they share information or whatever skill sets they may have, that's basically stealing a plate of food from them, and that's just the type of world we live in. My dynamic is a bit different from that. I enjoy teaching others. I enjoy growing together. I enjoy collaboration. Last year, I started an initiative when the DevNet was released, um, the Cisco CCNA DevNet. I started a Facebook group with the help of a couple of global moderators. We are almost at 400 members. The group has been a bit quiet for the past couple of months due to me contracting COVID. I'm proud to say that I am 100% back up and healthy and enthused and looking forward for us all to grow in 2021, to have a prosperous career, and let's figure out what this whole DevOps journey is together. Network programmability, or else if you're just a coder that's starting off. I myself am 30 years of age. I just enrolled into a BSc program, and that's personally just for myself. I know there are shorter routes in terms of taking short courses. However, in order to check specific boxes, especially when you are on the job market, A lot of people specify that a degree is required or some sort of at least experience. And when it comes to experience with coding, there's only one way to do that really, and that's just diving right in. Okay, so that was just a bit of a background. Okay, so before I contracted COVID, I was recently elected as a network engineer for our local governmental department, and beyond that, I managed to complete my Cisco DevNet. I managed to complete my Cisco Encore and my Cisco NRAZI, which made me CCNP certified. Um, just a bit of background about that. I got my CCNA back in 2000, my CCENT back in 2007, and my CCNA in 2008. It was truly life changing for me. Um, I've, for the better part of my IT career, I wasn't sure of what exactly I would like to specialize in. Having after I had graduated matric or grade 12, which is your last, basically your last academic year, I went straight into studying, as I stated, A plus, N plus, and then the following year I went on to do my MCSA in Windows Server 2003 and my MCSE in Windows Server 2003. So from there, I dealt a lot in desktop support, working my way up the ranks, moving out of the small towns into more of the corporate, bigger cities in South Africa, whereby now I support at least 1,000 users, uh, over 300 switches, over 64 routers, over 100 access points, and yeah, it's just been it's a nice project. I've been loving it, and I'm really looking forward into introducing automation into the environment that we are currently in. So yeah, I took advantage of the Juniper Genius program last year. They still have the Juniper program open. However, they are now only giving 75% discounts, I believe, on the exams, which is still very much worthwhile. Juniper being vendor agnostic, they teach you a lot of the content, especially if you're like myself and you've done Netto Plus and you've done your CCNT and your CCNA. You'll find it much more easier to get into the JNCIA, which is your Junos, your Junos DevOps. The way that they present their material, content, practice exams, it was well worth it for me. I managed to obtain all 5 associate level certifications last year, and it was truly a worthwhile experience. It definitely helped me with my CCNP studies, that much I can tell you. And lastly, one of the last certifications I got due to Microsoft's Certpocalypse is I got my Azure Fundamentals. I went on and through the grace of God just barely scraped and passed my Azure administration exam. And then late last year, after 3 attempts of passing the AZ400, I managed to get the Azure DevOps Engineer certification. Having had said that, a lot of the content that I spend endless nights learning and studying, because it's not my daily job role to perform such tasks, neither am I a part of the server or Wintel, whatever type of hosting team as you may have it. I've basically only really been putting use to the knowledge that I have in terms of my CCNA and my CCNP. However, I'm very much looking forward into, when I say labbing every day, like creating scripts with Python. A big shout out to Knox and a big shout out to David for their assistance on my journey so far. A big shout out to the Facebook group, the DevNet group that I mentioned. I'm not sure if I mentioned the number, but we're sitting at close to about 400 members now, so we are going to relaunch that for sure. All my videos from YouTube will be going up on there. All my content, all my scripts that I create, I will be posting onto my GitHub and sharing it with you guys. I have a small demonstration that I just created or compiled rather. A small project really just to get into the groove of things again. And it's basically a email bot. This bot, what it does is it manipulates, or how can I say it, rather interrogates. Let me just open it up. Yeah, I installed the JetBrains IDE. If you need assistance on how to do that, let me know and I'll create a tutorial for you whereby I was able to install a program called PyCharm. So PyCharm is an environment without the need of having to have a virtual machine. Not all of us are fortunate enough to have a server that we can use to run a hypervisor like with VirtualBox or VMware with an extensive amount of resources. But this really does help. It allows you to create your Python scripts, and using it to create my first bot was really amazing. So basically what I've done here is I've imported the SMTP libraries. I installed speech recognition tools and text-to-speech tools, as well as using the default email message import message tool. I created a listener for your microphone and an engine to initiate the text-to-speech. I created different definitions and functions that will allow us to basically interpret and to interact with the bot. I've also created rules whereby we can send to specific email clients, create subjects and messages, log into specific SMTP mailboxes using the required port, as well as, of course, these days security is very important, so using the TLS protocol to encrypt our messages, using, well, in this case, my email address associated with my password, which I've now changed, so don't try and log into my mail account, please. And then just creating the different variables so that it acknowledges who the email is from, to said receiver, the subject, and setting the content of the email. I also have an email list whereby I created a dictionary rule with a contact name that we can give to our bot to familiarize itself instead of just stipulating the full email address. A lot of text-to-speech, which we'll probably see in the demonstration I'm about to run, is sometimes, even though you speak, it may struggle to interpret what you're saying. The recognizer I'm using as well is an API from Google. That's the Google Recognize, Google Voice. So so basically it takes time for it to understand your tone of voice and how it spells the certain words. So it's easier to create a contact in that fashion, and then giving the bot instructions of what it needs to ask you and ultimately to get you to send the email. So I'm going to run the program now, and let's cross fingers that everything's correct. If this should work, I should be able to get an email in my inbox. I'll just show you my inbox right now. If you can't see, the time is 11:28, the local time, South Africa. Right now, the last message I got was from Indeed. All right. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll run the script.
To whom? You want to send email to? My good sir.
King.
What is the subject of your composition, my good sir?
Happy New Year, everyone.
My master. Devon. What would you like me to populate in said message?
Let's all prosper this 2021 and learn to code and ultimately achieve our goals.
Your email is sent. Thanks for using my services. Do you want to send more email? Or can I go to bed now?
You can go to bed now. Alright, I just received a notification. See, as you'll see, we get a exit code 0. Exit code 0 normally means success. If I go to my inbox, and there you have it. Atkins, my email. That's, well, this is what I said. It's still learning my text to voice, but ultimately, let's all have a prosperous 2021 and learn to code and ultimately achieve our goals. So our script worked. That's just a small demonstration of how I set up the code. We'll leave a link in the description with the GitHub, with my GitHub link, so you can copy and play with this yourself. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. This channel won't specifically only be towards code. I am currently studying my CCNP security. And specifically, I'm trying to write the CCNP score exam soon, as well as my checkpoint exam, which is the CCSA. If I do have enough time in this first quarter, try and finish my Palo Alto examinations. So to every one of you out there, have a good day, and hope to see you soon. Ciao. Bye.